Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and because I forgot to do it in my last video, in this video, we'll be talking about Cobra Commander number 1. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly comic book review 1.5 in a way. I just did part of the weekly comic book review because there's an ice storm and a snowstorm in my area. I haven't been able to get back to the shop to get the rest of my books. So we just did the DC books, the Image books, and an Oni Press book in the weekly comic book review part 1, and that just dropped. But I totally forgot that I read Cobra Commander number 1, because I read this like last week. Like, I couldn't wait for this book. As soon as we got our lunar shipment, I just slashed open the boxes, or somebody else slashed open the boxes. They were like, Cobra Commander's here. I'm like, bring me one right now. And so I read this like a week ago, and it's been sitting in another place in my living room, apart from where the other comics were. So when I grabbed that stack to do the review, I just left this out and immediately realized it when I was uploading the video. So here we are, a video dedicated just to Cobra Commander number 1, part of the Energon Universe. Now, you know I have been super excited for the Transformers book by Daniel Warren Johnson. I thought Duke issue number 1 by Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley was absolutely phenomenal. And now we got Cobra Commander. So the way that they're building us up into the G.I. Joe part of the Energon Universe is not with a G.I. Joe book, but with a Duke book, kind of about the formation of G.I. Joe, and a Cobra Commander book that's kind of going to be about the formation of Cobra. And they're working together, because they're both written by Joshua Williamson. They're both working together to build up a larger narrative that will eventually become a G.I. Joe book, I'm certain. But Cobra Commander issue number 1 is definitely the most unique and different book from the Energon Universe line so far. Josh Williamson said that this is straight up a horror comic, and it's got those horrific elements. Now, the opening of this book, a lot of people have already seen it because it's been shown in a lot of previews, but I just want to say that that is pretty much true. This book does read like a weird science horror comic, and I really love it. The artwork is done by Andrea Milana with Annalisa Leoni on the coloring, Rus Wooten on the lettering. Lettering is top-notch. The coloring is great. The art is great. It's got this like raw, rough, edgy, visceral kind of style that really helps it tonally set itself apart from Duke. Duke is straight up Jason Bourne action movie, and it's just badass. This is just weird B-rated movie science and awesome horror, and Cobra Commander being built up as a very serious threat in this book. In the original G.I. Joe cartoon, Cobra Commander was cool. He looked cool, but he was always kind of like whiny, always running away, stuff like that. That is not this Cobra Commander. There's a lot of stuff in here that they've kept under wraps about kind of where they're starting this story and how they're developing Cobra Commander's world out. And I'm not going to spoil any of that for you, but there's a few spoilers in here that are going to excite and intrigue fans of Transformers and G.I. Joe. There is a very solid connection between this book and the Transformers book. It's not just happening to take place in the same world. Pretty much what sets this book off is kind of what the stuff from Transformers has been leading to as well. Kind of like with Duke. Duke's first issue was all motivated by Transformers, right? Same thing here, but still distinctly Cobra Commander. Still a different version of Cobra Commander that I really like. I read this a few times. The first time I read it, I was taken aback because there are some choices that are made in here where I was like, really? We're doing that, Josh? But the more I read it, the more I'm down, because once again, weird science fiction. That's what this book is. Weird science horror fiction. It is visceral. It's edgy when it needs to be. I love the setup for the book, and I love Cobra Commander in this world and his attitude, his personality, and now he can really back that shit up. I loved the book. I thought it was great. Another solid addition to the Energon Universe, and what I love Even though Transformers, G.I. Joe, properties very similar, they're toy lines, they're 80s popular animated series, they have legs that have stood the test of time. Aside from all that, this book is tonally different than Duke and Transformers. It is genre different than Duke and Transformers, and the characterizations and the art and the way it's told. I was really happy. I'm excited to hear what you think about Cobra Commander issue number 1. Let me know in the comments down below. And then eventually, when I do get back to the shop and read my Marvel books and the other books, we'll have the part 2 or 3, however you want to view it, of the weekly comic book review. Then we can finally wrap everything up and encapsulate it with the pick of the week. So anyway, thank you so much for checking out the video. Sorry that I forgot that on the last video. Hope you didn't miss this video. Hope you haven't missed the other video. Be on the lookout for the other video. Don't miss any of these videos. The weekly comic book review is spread across 3 videos this week. 3 videos. You do what you got to do. Anyway, thank you all so much for rocking with us. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and jump over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support this channel. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Station. Keep on reading. Pop, pop, boom!